Hi guys, it's KJM and it's a part 2 to my I think it's actually 7 most scandalous Hallmark Christmas movies that I've ever seen: Grease, Countdown to Christmas, or Miracles of Christmas. And I just finished with A Maple Valley Christmas, so let's get into some of the other ones. Baby, I hope you're starting to see a theme. Wherever there is drama, Andrew Walker is there. He is really like the bad boy of Hallmark, and that is why he's my personal boyfriend. Like, in my mind, of course. Shout out to Andrew and his wife and children. Anyway, coming in at I really think this is like a number 2, is Christmas on My Mind. Now, why is this movie scandalous? So we have Lucy Levitt. Opening scene, we see her coming out of a bridal shop, running with her dress. She runs past Santa, slips, falls, hurts herself, and temporarily loses her memory. She doesn't know why she was running from the bridal shop, why she has this wedding dress, but in her mind, she's still engaged to her true love, Zach, played by Andrew Walker. So she goes to Zach's restaurant, and he tells her that, baby, they broke up 2 years ago. Their engagement has been broken off, and he doesn't know why she's holding that wedding dress. Yeah. So we're all looking and trying to figure out why she's holding that wedding dress. And baby, she was running like a bat out of hell from that bridal shop. And here we're trying to figure it out. Well, it turns out she had retrograde amnesia, okay? Jackée from 227 actually plays her doctor in this movie. So shout out to Jackée. We love you. I think her name's Jackée Harris, but we love you, okay? We love everything you do in the past, in the present, and in the future. Okay, that was my plug for Jackée. So anyway, we find out that Lucy has retrograde amnesia, which, guys, I Googled and I figured out it is a real thing. You can have temporary memory loss, and we've seen Hallmark do this before, except this was one of the first times I've seen that the person has all their memory except for the last 2 years of their life. Well, it turns out Lucy really lives in Portland, and she's running her deceased aunt's foundation. She's engaged to the CEO over there, but she has no memory. Her last memory is being in love with Zach. That's all she remembers, okay? So Lucy fell and bumped her head, how conveniently, running from a bridal shop when her real wedding was supposed to be the CEO of her aunt's foundation. But the only engagement she remembers is to Zach, honey. So here you go with retrograde amnesia, and you got 2 potential fiancés. Scandalous. And how convenient, Lucy. Anyway, she figures out why she ran from that bridal shop. She was not in love with the CEO. She was still in love with Zach. And she goes back to find her small town boy, her love, and to fight for him. And he starts to fight for her too. This was just quite scandalous. 2 fiancés, retrograde amnesia, in love with one man, engaged to another. Yes, baby, Hallmark went there, and I do love Christmas on My Mind. All right, let's get into the next one. The next one technically would be number 1, since this is really 7 movies, but we're just going to call the next one 1B, okay? 1B. And wait until you see who's in this one. Baby, look at 1B. Look at 1B. Okay, so that's 3 scandalous movies Andrew Walker has been in. He is the bad boy of Hallmark, okay? The bad boy, and he is finer and finer with age, let me just tell you. Because he was in that Maple Valley Christmas. He was definitely in Christmas on My Mind. Now we are over here with A Bride for Christmas. Now, Megan and I really love this and watch it every time that it's on. Here's what's scandalous about A Bride for Christmas. You have a girl, Jessie, who just broke off. She literally jilted her fiance at the altar. I mean, we start off with seeing her running from that wedding, okay? We find out she's had 2 previous fiancés, all 3 different guys. So Jesse's got a commitment issue. And then here comes Aiden. Aiden's friends bet him at a poker game that he can't make a woman fall in love with him and marry him. Basically fall in love with him and accept his proposal. Now, I don't know why anybody would bet on marriage or try to get a woman to say yes to their proposal when marriage is such a serious issue. But the fact that Hallmark went there was wild, honey. And A Bride for Christmas is just like that. It's a wild ride. You see two commitment phobes, Jesse and Aiden, actually fall in love with each other. And ultimately, she ends up proposing to him. Remember, she done, called off 3 other engagements. But after one kiss with him at their volunteer animal shelter, and she saw Andrew with that dog, she just knew he was for her. And I can believe it, honey, because it is Andrew freaking Walker. Okay? That man is fine, and he just gets better and better. And I'm telling you, I really didn't notice him until A Maple Valley Christmas. Once I started fanning myself, once I was watching it, and I realized that it wasn't no hot flashes, I was like, baby, Andrew Walker is fine. Shout out to his wife. I think they have at least 2 kids, and I get why. Girl, it may be time to give him another baby, okay? Because that man's fine. Anyway, this is one of the very few Hallmark movies where I actually agreed with the 2 leads having an argument, having an actual argument about, what's going on. Usually Hallmark fakes some sort of argument and within the last 30 minutes, and then they want to leave each other alone, and then they end up together. In this movie, I felt like Jesse deserved to know that Aiden, aka Andrew, had bet on her and had bet he could not make her fall in love. Ultimately, she breaks off their engagement, the one where she proposed to him, but her mom actually realizes that Aiden does love Jesse, and she goes to Aiden's job where he's now in a cubicle because he lost his bet, he lost his nice office, and she convinces him that the only thing you can do is marry my daughter, and that will let her know that you are serious. So on Christmas Day, their family and friends gather, and it's a surprise wedding for Jesse. So 2 commitment phobes get married on Christmas Day after this whole marriage started off as a bet, honey. Shout out to Ariel and Andrew Walker. You guys did an amazing job. I really love A Bride for Christmas. Megan pointed out that they also do a movie together called Bridal Wave that we also love. These 2 just have a lot of hot and steamy chemistry. We saw Ariel back at Hallmark after being gone for a long time this summer. She did one of the National Park movies. She did the summer one. It was not that good, and her hair was like blonder than it needed to be. Please give Ariel back some dark roots and give her some better scripts, because we actually really love her. And definitely try putting her and Andrew Walker in a 3rd movie with some great writing, because those 2 movies are great. Okay, so 1B is A Bride for Christmas, baby. When someone bets on whether you will accept their proposal, whether you will fall in love with them. The ego on this man, but it is Andrew freaking Walker, so I get it. All right, now for my 1A, for my number 1 most scandalous Hallmark Christmas movie. And I don't think anything will ever beat this movie. You just hold on. Baby, this is 1A. As a matter of fact, this is the most scandalous Hallmark movie, Christmas movie I've ever watched. And I will go as far as say it's the most scandalous Hallmark movie I've ever seen on any of the channels. Okay, let's get into it, all right? Layla is engaged to Jack. No, that is not Jack, okay? That is Seth right there. She's engaged to Jack at the beginning of the movie, and her cousin Jessica is back in town trying to build up her business. Seth introduces Jessica and Jack. Mind you, Jessica and Layla are cousins. Seth introduces Jessica to Jack, and all of a sudden, Jessica and Jack fall in love, okay? They fall in love. And now Layla's expected to go to her cousin's wedding. Her cousin who's now engaged to her ex-fiance. So now she needs a date for the wedding, and it turns out life throws them together, and Seth ends up being her date. They fake an engagement at the cousin's wedding with the fiance, which I don't usually agree with upstaging the bride, but if the bride stole your fiance and is now marrying him, and the bride is your cousin, turn up at her wedding, okay? Turn up at that wedding, okay? So that is exactly what happened. So we watched Layla and Seth fall in love, and it turns out Layla realizes Jack was always wrong for her, and Seth is her true love, and these two actually do get married around Christmas time and she is a December bride. Baby, that was scandalous. Were you following? I feel like that number one needs a part 2.